finished a Python project, and it's running perfectly. But then you start a new project, install a new library, and suddenly your older code completely breaks. This happens because your computer usually stores Python packages in a single shared global path. When you install an updated library for a new project, it can overwrite the versions your previous projects rely on. To solve this, we use a Python virtual environment. This creates an isolated workspace for each project, keeping its dependencies entirely separate from the rest of your system. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to create, activate, verify, and safely close one of these secure workspaces. First, ensure you have Python version 3.4 or higher installed on your machine. You need the pip package manager, the global virtual environment tool, and your computer's command line. Using virtual environments is the standard for professional software development. Open your command line interface, the terminal for Mac and Linux, or the command prompt for Windows. If you are on Windows and run into permission errors, make sure you are running the command prompt as an administrator. Create a new directory for your project by typing mkdr_learning.python and pressing Enter. Now move into that folder with the command cd learning.python. To build the actual environment, execute the generation sequence by typing virtualenviron.lpenv. On Mac and Linux, the leading dot in .lpenv makes the folder invisible in your File Explorer. This helps keep your project directory organized and free of visual clutter. The environment files are now ready, but you aren't using them yet. You still need to trigger the activation sequence to enter the workspace. Activating the environment requires specific commands that vary based on your operating system. On Mac and Linux, use the command source.lpenv/bin/activate. On Windows, use the path .lpenv scripts.activate. You can confirm the activation succeeded by looking at your command line prompt. The .lpenv prefix will now appear at the very beginning of the line. Now type Python and press Enter to launch the interactive shell from inside this environment. This readout shows the shell starting up. Notice the top line, where the version, Python 3.4.3, is explicitly printed. Seeing this version number confirms that your commands are now being routed into the isolated environment, bypassing your global system settings. To exit the interactive shell, type exit parentheses and press Enter. To leave the virtual environment and return to your system's global state, type the deactivate command. Once you do, the .lpenv prefix will disappear from your prompt. Verifying this deactivation ensures that any system-wide changes you make later won't interfere with this specific project space. You now have a fully functional, isolated project directory. When you install a large framework like Django while this environment is active, every file it needs stays contained within this one folder. This containment keeps your underlying operating system stable and prevents your different projects from conflicting with each other. Make this process the very first step for every new project you start. Now that your workspace is secure, you're ready to start coding. Continue to the next lesson on Python's built-in data types to begin populating your new project.